Hi, my name is Julie Parmer, and I'm on staff at First Baptist Church in Prattville, Alabama, and I also have the privilege of serving on the state of Alabama's VBS team. I love Vacation Bible School, and it is a true honor to be able to meet with you today and share some craft tips and ideas with you. For the next few minutes, we will be digging deep into Destination Dig crafts. Destination Dig is set in modern-day Jerusalem. Our boys and girls will be taking on the role of junior archaeologists and digging deep into God's Word to unearth the truth about Jesus. As they are searching, they will uncover and study tangible pieces of the past that will help them as they learn who Jesus is and why he came. They will also discover the truth of Jeremiah 29:13, that God reveals himself to us as we seek and search for him with our whole heart. Let's say that VBS scripture together. You will see me and you will find me when you search with me with your whole heart. Jeremiah 29:13. Let's get started talking about some important ways that we can prepare to lead the Artifact Craft Rotation at VBS this summer. First, survey your site. This is preparing your heart. The verse that we just recited is a remarkable promise from God for all of us, and it is important as we prepare to leave VBS. Read and study the content for each day. Lifeway offers some great Bible study options that correspond with each day's lessons. Remember that the children aren't just coming to you to make a craft. The craft rotation that you do each day will reinforce the Bible point that they are learning in their Bible study rotation. We must teach these truths from our whole heart. The more we know them, the easier it will be to pour them out to the children that we are leading. Second, excavate and discover. This means know your leader guides. I have with me here the Preschool Craft Rotation Leader Guide and the Children's Leader Guide. If you open up to the front of your 1st through 6th grade leader guide, on the front inside cover, you will see sharing the gospel with kids. This is what VBS is all about, the story of Jesus. Make sure you are familiar with sharing the gospel with your children. I will link the Gospel God's Plan for me and the Gospel God's Plan for preschoolers to this video so that you can review it. Remember, even our youngest preschool archaeologists can begin to learn the foundational truths of who Jesus is, how much he loves them, and why they came. If you flip over a few more pages, and this is the same in the Preschool Leader Guide and the Children's Leader Guide, you will find days 1 through 5's lessons and crafts. You will find the scriptures, the points for each day. Also included in the leader guide is a supply list, a list of the pre-packaged crafts that Lifeway offers, and the templates for each day's craft activities are in the back. And these are absolutely wonderful and very helpful. I actually print those out of the craft book each year, and I place them in page protectors in a binder like this, and we keep it in our resource room near our copier so that as our crafts leaders come in, they have easy access to that. All right. Number 3, you will need to lay out the grid. And this is deciding and making yourself aware of your church's setup. There are several different things that VBS directors and craft leaders have to consider. They have to consider the amount of space they're working with, the number of children that will be attending their VBS, the amount of prep a craft takes, also the amount of volunteers that they are going to have to help them with Vacation Bible School. There are 3 different scenarios for a VBS craft rotation time. One is rotate in, another rotate out, and another called the self-contained classroom. We'll start talking about the rotating in scenario. Rotating in means that your children remain in their VBS classroom and a crafts team travels to them. The crafts leaders will have all of the supplies that they need for the boys and girls to complete the craft, and they will travel to each of the classrooms with them. Another option is rotating out. Rotating out is very common with older groups, kindergarten through 6th grade. This is when the crafts team has a designated space, their own room, that they can decorate and set up and prepare all of their crafts in. Then the boys and girls rotate to them at a designated time for crafts. Normally crafts times are about 25 minutes, and that includes your transition time. So keep that in mind as you're setting up your schedule. The third option for crafts rotation is called self-contained. And in this option, the VBS teacher actually has the craft rotation materials and supplies provided to her ahead of time, and she works that into her VBS lesson plan for the day. If you are going to do a self-contained classroom, make sure that your teachers have everything they're going to need and know the amount of time the crafts take ahead of time so that they can properly plan their VBS day. We have actually used all three of these craft rotation scenarios at our own church. We have found that with our 3-year-olds, a rotating in option actually works best because it's harder for our littles to transition to different spaces. But with our 4s and 5s, they do well actually rotating out. So we have 2 crafts teams. We have a 3-year-old crafts team that goes to the classroom with all the supplies that they need for the 3-year-olds to complete their craft. And then our 4s and 5s rotate out to another space for their rotations, including missions and music. Our 1st through 6th graders also rotate out to crafts each day. All right, last year, many of us had to get creative. We had to figure out a way to do VBS virtually. If you need to do a VBS virtually again this year, never fear, crafts can travel. Choose a craft that you can easily provide everything that a child needs to prepare at home. For instance, this year in both the preschool and children's craft rotation leader guide, you have a pinch pot craft. And this is a pinch pot that I made. All you need for this is some air dry clay. So this would be a fantastic craft that could travel for a virtual VBS. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. You can buy air dry clay in large quantities on Amazon, pinch off a piece, put it in a Ziploc baggie, attach the instructions, and combine that with 2 or 3 more crafts that you can form a kit with for a parent to pick up and work on at home with their child. And if you happen to be preparing for a mission VBS, and if you have never done this, I would highly encourage that you do. A mission VBS is a VBS that you do outside of your church campus in another location, maybe an area that does not have a church, and you actually put together a small team and go in and do a pop-up VBS. Choose crafts for that are doable in any environment. Less is more. Pre-packaged craft options from Lifeway are fantastic for this. Make sure that you choose a craft that reinforces the Bible content. Choose one that fits with the group that you are leading. And again, choose one that the supplies are limited and it's easy to travel with. The magnetic cross bookmark option this year is a fabulous choice for a mission VBS because everything is contained in that craft kit. There's also a template for this cross in the back of your 1st through 6th grade leader guide. So if you didn't want to purchase the craft kits, you could absolutely cut out the crosses and get some stickers and make these. And all it is, it's a cardstock cross that has been left together at the top, and at the bottom it has a little piece of magnet, and that can go right over your Bible as a bookmark. The really neat thing that I love about this cross, and it's actually a day 4 craft, we'll talk about it in a minute, but it has these little stickers. There's a crown, there's a cross, there's an X. And these stickers correspond to the gospel God's plan for me. So whether you're on a mission VBS or you're in the classroom on your church campus, you can walk right back through the plan of salvation with your boys and girls as you're doing this craft. Also, always encourage your boys and girls to take these crafts home and tell somebody at home about them. Talk about the story that they went through that day and to reshare the gospel with their family members at home. You will be able to learn more about Mission VBS in the Backyard Kids Club video that's offered through our state team. So make sure you check that out. All right. You'll need to use the right tools. That means gathering your supplies. Make a list, check it twice, and begin gathering early. In fact, right now it's the beginning of February, and now is the time to get your leader guides and start going through slowly and methodically deciding what crafts you're going to do and what you're going to need to do them. And think about what things are going to work best for your church. Prep time, group size, and makeup, and the number of actual helpers that you're going to have. Also, very important again, make sure that that craft is conveying the Bible point for the day. Don't miss an opportunity to reinforce what those boys and girls have already learned in Bible study. Begin early to formulate a list of the things that you're going to need. I've created a simple list or spreadsheet, and I'm going to link that also in this video so that y'all can use it. I made this a few years ago. I print it out, I clip it on a clipboard, and I have it with me as I'm going through the leader guides and I'm making a running list. It actually has things that I might need at Walmart, things that I may already have at church, things that I could purchase from Lifeway, things that I may need from Dollar Tree. So as I'm going through the leader guides, I'm making a list, adding up quantities, and then when I'm done, before I go shopping, I edit the list and make sure before I leave that I'm completely organized. It saves a lot of time and a lot of stress. Also, ask your church to help you. This is a great way for you to involve members of your church who may work or who may not be able to serve during the actual week of VBS on your campus. Your church family will more than likely be happy to help you. Day 1 in your preschool crafts, we have a scroll jar. This is one of my favorites, and we will definitely be doing this here at my VBS. It is a Pringles can that is covered in a decorated piece of construction paper. If you pop the top open, on the inside, you have a scroll. And on this particular scroll, I have actually printed Jeremiah 29:13, the Bible verse, in a dotted font so that even our smallest archaeologists will be able to start learning that verse and committing it to heart by tracing it. And then they can roll it up and put it back in their scroll. But all that to say, we are going to need about 360 Pringles cans here for our Vacation Bible School. And even though I love Pringles, I don't need to eat that many. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask our church to help us. And we're going to do that in plenty of time so that we can collect them and clean them and have them ready. Another amazing thing to do to involve people at your church is you can have what we call a Mission Serve VBS Day. We do this on the Sunday prior to Vacation Bible School, and we have task cards set up in our fellowship hall of all the different things that we could use help doing to prepare for VBS on Monday. It will be everything from moving tables and chairs to craft prep. So this is a way to help you prep some of your items before Vacation Bible School and to involve members of your church who might not otherwise be able to participate in VBS. We have hundreds of craft packs prepared each year by church volunteers that show up on that Sunday afternoon. They're even willing to help with snacks. So again, reach out to your church family and enlist their help as well. All right, finally, share the joy. Enlist people to help you. This step can fall anywhere on this list and is extremely important. If you are a VBS director, you may consider enlisting your crafts leader now for Vacation Bible School this summer. They can help you with the process of going through the leader guides, deciding what crafts to do, and they can help you with preparing those lists and shopping. If you're the craft rotations leader yourself, you might also want to begin enlisting 2 or 3 people that also love VBS and crafts to begin sitting down and thinking about how to make the crafts rotation the very best it's ever been this summer. All right, for the next few minutes, we are going to walk day by day through our craft leader guides, and we're just going to talk about some of the things that are offered for the children to do each day and the Bible principle with that. So day 1, and they are very similar. The leader guides are very similar in makeup, preschool and children's setup, with just a very few differences. So on day 1, Jesus was born. The boys and girls will actually learn about the prophet Isaiah and about how God gave him a special message for the people that one day his son Jesus would be born in Bethlehem. And sure enough, he was. Jesus was born just as God promised. There are 4 craft options for the preschoolers and 3 for children. And I'm going to reach down here and grab one for the preschoolers. This is a preschool free art center. This is a very simple craft that can actually be used as an early arriver activity or just an extra something if you need to add it in at the end. It's taking either wrapping paper pieces, or in this case, in our resource room, we already had pre-cut Christmas colored pieces. So I just made a little Christmas tree design. At the bottom you see I have the point of the day. Jesus is the son God promised. I encourage you to put the day's point on everything you can, because remember, these crafts go home with our boys and girls. Some of our boys and girls are unchurched, and we want to make sure that we get that Bible point in every home, and that we encourage our preschoolers and our children to share what that means with the people in their home. So another craft option for preschool for day 1 was, again, the scroll holder. I loved that one. And for the children, we had this ornament. This is a prepackaged Lifeway kit, and it's really neat, but it comes with everything you need. You can do this on your own. There is a template for it. However, it is the prep time would be astronomical for it. But this is really neat. It has "For unto us a child is born" on it. So I liked that one for the day. This one's also one that would travel very well. Let me walk on through and make sure I have not missed anything. The artifact pinch pot is in the children's leader guide, and again, super duper fun craft. This might have been one of my favorites, and one of the things that I learned when I was making this is that if you give each of your children a styrofoam cup, they can mold their pinch pot around that cup, and it actually makes a perfect little bowl design in the center. And then I took toothpicks, and obviously you wouldn't want to give your younger archaeologists toothpicks, but for your older ones, a toothpick is a great way to kind of etch the designs and markings in the side of the pinch pot. The pinch pot does require a couple or 3 days to dry, so just keep that in mind. I think that that is probably one of the reasons that they put the pinch pot on day 1. All right, day 2 is Jesus healed a blind man. And the point for the day is that Jesus has the power that God promised. Day 2's crafts that I really, really loved were in preschool, the keepsake handprint. Every mama and grandmama loves a handprint. So this is one that we will definitely do with our babies through 2s, may extend that all the way through kindergartners, but this was done with air dry clay, and it was done about 24 hours ago. It's still a little soft, but if you do this on day 2, by day 4 you could actually paint it if you wanted to, but that wouldn't be necessary. But make sure you remember to etch the child's name in the back. We have learned that in the past through experience, that we had a bunch of little handprints that we had to redo because we didn't know whose was whose. But this one's really neat. This was done with Crayola air dry clay. For the children, I liked the foil medallion craft. It was a really neat little fun thing to make. I actually made it with some heavy cardstock that I glued together to give it a little bit more stability. All of the instructions are right there in your leader guide. Once you get your cardstock glued together, the boys and girls glue yarn in different shapes onto the cardstock, and then they cover that with a piece of aluminum foil. And then they can take, once it's dry, they can actually take the end of a pin or a little stick and follow the imprint of the yarn, and it's a neat little craft. Also, you can paint that to show some definition in the design that they actually made on their medallion. This can be hung on a backpack, it can be made into a necklace, but I thought it was a lot of fun, so I thought I would share it. Also on day 2, mystery Play-Doh. One of the things that my 3-year-olds absolutely adored back when I taught 3-year-old Sunday school was the Sunday that we made Play-Doh. We had it organized as best we could, but just to let you know, plan ahead for that activity. Your leader guide has done a fantastic job of organizing that craft to keep it clean. It's all made in a Ziploc bag. I would not try to do this craft with a large group of children all at once. It actually might be something that they would rotate around to, but super fun because your Kool-Aid is actually in your Play-Doh mix that's already in a pre-made Ziploc bag. The boys and girls help you to pour the liquid into the bag, which makes the color appear. So lots of fun, but can be messy, but very memorable. And it was also one of the things that the leader guide tells you that when they tried it out with the boys and girls, it was one of their absolute favorites. Day 3's story is about Jesus helping his friends by washing their feet. And the Bible point is that Jesus is our example. Here is an example of the mosaic tape design. Now in your leader guide, it actually shows for preschool the boys and girls taking little pieces of tape, and I used painter's tape here, and just taping different designs on the paper, and then they watercolor over it. I will tell you that we have used a variation of this craft for years in Mission VBS because it's easy prep and it's easy to do with crayons as well. So you can watercolor it like I did, or you can use crayons. And what we did is we made a cross. We prepared ahead of time the number of craft activities that we needed, and we placed a cross with paint tape. So the boys and girls watercolor over the cross, and then they peel the paint tape off very carefully. To reveal the cross. So again, this can be done with watercolor just as it suggests in the leader guide, or it can be done with crayons. And then the dig site pouch is actually found in the preschool and children's leader guide. This is a Lifeway pre-packaged craft that you can buy. I like this one because of the letters. You can absolutely go out, especially if you have a smaller group, you can purchase everything here individually, but it's really hard to pick out all of these letters for a large group. On first glance, I wasn't sure what I thought about this craft, but then as I started looking at it, I kind of liked it. I didn't read the instructions well because I wondered why I had so much string left over that I cut off. It was because this is supposed to be a side body pouch, and I made it as a little purse. But it's designed to be a side body water pouch that you would drop a water bottle down in. I love this option for a mission VBS craft. You take your water and the children can carry home a water bottle with them after they've made their craft. We've learned through past experience that the kids love to bead things. So you could actually take additional beads and the children can make many different designs on their water bottle holder strap. So this was another one that I loved for day 3. Day 4, Jesus is alive. Day 4 is the day that we will go over and over and over again the gospel message with our boys and girls. And we've talked about the magnetic cross before. Love this one for day 4. Again, it comes in a Lifeway prepackaged craft with all of the things that you'll need, but the template for this cross is also found in the 1st through 6th grade craft rotation leader guide. And again, review the gospel God's plan for me so that you are ready to share the story of Jesus and his love with those boys and girls. Again, the stickers in the craft pack correspond to the gospel God's plan for me, and I will make sure that I link this to this video so that you will have it. It's just one more great opportunity to share the gospel with your boys and girls. Day 5, Philip told the good news to the Ethiopian. Here is the example of the chariot craft, and this was lots of fun. My little girl made this. She did find that she had to use a lot of tape on the chariot to hold it together, and we are actually going to be doing this craft this coming Sunday with our preschoolers. We're going to try it out because our Sunday school lesson is about Philip and the Ethiopian. So this one was a lot of fun. That is a craft pack, but it's also a template that is available in the preschool and children's crafts rotation leader guide. So you can absolutely copy this on cardstock, cut it out, and make this on your own. The wheels are made of foam and there's a dowel rod in the center. So you would need to purchase all of those things individually and make a kit. The preschoolers, my favorite thing for day 5 was probably, again, the scroll activity. And what I did is I printed the actual verse again on day 5's scroll paper. I used an 11 by 14 sheet of like legal paper, and I printed that verse on it again, and I would encourage them to draw a picture of what that verse means to them, and then you can roll it up and tie a bow around it for a scroll. I hope you have enjoyed this Destination Dig craft video. Remember, prepare your heart, plan ahead, and share the joy. VBS is worth it because it connects kids to Jesus.